Money. It's what apparently makes the world go around. I mean, what would we do without it? Society is constantly striving to have more and more money in their bank accounts, and many, including myself, become discouraged when they look into their wallets, only to find that they have little to no money. Modern cinema focuses largely on creating spectacles for the audience it is trying to reach. For example, films like La La Land and Star Wars, The Force Awakens, spend millions upon millions of dollars to woo the audience. They also employ accompanying music to emphasize the spectacles and the emotions behind these spectacles. However, it is not as widely known that many low-budget films leave the audience with more catharsis, while also including score that moves the audience just as much as those of higher-budget films. Rocky, directed by John G. Avildsen, was created on a $1 million budget and has a very recognizable and timeless theme. This timeless theme was composed by Bill Conti, a composer who is pretty much only known for his work in the Rocky movies and the Karate Kid movies. Because this composer isn't as known as some others, the budget for music is substantially less, leading to a cheaper movie, but not at the cost of a great movie. It's no secret that remarkable movies can come from a smaller budget, but there is a strong stigma held by most of society and many filmmakers that more money equals a better product, or a greater spectacle. This thought process makes some sense, as more money means more realistic locations, more musicians in the orchestra or band, better equipment, a more popular cast. Yeah, the list goes on and on. However, many films, as previously stated, have defined this
Here's the
stigma.
Scholars do discuss budget in film, but these discussions and scholarly articles have nothing to do with the music in these movies. It doesn't touch on one of the most important aspects of a movie, which is somewhat hard to believe. More discussion needs to be happening around this subtopic of film because of its great importance to any story. The idea that it takes a lot of money to create a spectacle or avant-garde film that stirs thought within the audience isn't proclaimed from the mountaintops to be true by any scholars. But every filmmaker is always searching for more money to create a better movie, when that doesn't have much to do with the end result. The film industry has turned into a strongly capitalistic industry that seeks fatter wallets. This is seen in streaming services' decisions to invest millions of dollars into their own original TV shows and movies. If the amount of money to create films was reduced, the outcomes of them wouldn't necessarily change.
Didn't see you there. Are you still not convinced that good film can come from little to no budget? Well, guess what? You're living it right now. I'm recording this on my iPhone and using free editing software. Now, I know this is no commercial, blockbuster Hollywood film, but it is a film and it can be interesting to a number of audiences. For example, I have filmed a number of subjectively aesthetically pleasing shots matched with music from one of my favorite low-budget films, Moonlight, composed by Nicholas Britell.
Many big-name composers are hired by major companies to produce high-budget films. These big-budget films tend to spend massive amounts on the music simply to hire a big-name composer. For example, Avengers Endgame hired renowned composer Alan Silvestri, who composed films such as Back to the Future and Forrest Gump. Consider John Williams, the remarkable man composing themes found in Star Wars, Jaws, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and many more. For Star Wars, the budget for a full orchestra and Williams translates to about $250,000 in today's currency. Halloween was composed by the film's director, John Carpenter, and spent none of its $300,000 budget on the famous music. Now don't get me wrong, credible composers such as Hans Zimmer, Alan Silvestri, John Williams, Randy Newman, Harry Gregson Williams, Michael Giacchino, and Alexander Desplat are all wonderful composers and deserve to be expensive due to their insane musical abilities. However, lesser-known composers can do a similarly amazing job for a fraction of the price. I'm not saying that these composers should get hired any less. I'm simply saying that just as good of a product can come from a lower-budgeted film. So, the next time you sit down in a theater to watch a movie, consider how much you think it's truly worth and how memorable the score is. You never know when a low-budget film will strike gold because it's happening more and more frequently.